So what they do, they turn to creative strategists and content creators and videographers like myself, and we had a new opportunity. And that's when it blew up for me. And what was so exciting about it is I did this for a full year and companies started getting all this traction and they would call me like, you've increased our sales. It's been intense. Like we got all this marketing. We love it. We're sharing the video. It's incredible. This is the Podcast in the Rough. Tune in every Friday for new adventurous episodes. Welcome back to another episode of the Podcast in the Rough. This is episode 165. I'm your host, Zebulon Thomas, and today I want to talk to you a little bit about entrepreneurship, podcasting, and opening up to endless opportunities and possibilities. Like this is really just kind of me just riffing and giving you the nitty-gritty, the lowdown, the experience I've had over the course of my career and how, not everything starts out the way you want it to. First of all, I want to say that this is the last episode of season 5. I'm excited about that because season 6 is going to be a whole nother game-changing opportunity. And I really hope that you take the time to tune in. And if you haven't subscribed yet, this is the time to subscribe. I'm getting more into storytelling, and I'm going to try a few things on these first few episodes of season 6 and see, what the feedback is, kind of teach you a little bit about storytelling, even as I learn more about storytelling and the things that I want to do with my podcast. And I want to share with you just these ideas and concepts that I feel if you apply them to your business, your brand, your podcast, even your social media content, it's going to build a next level opportunity for you. And I'm really excited about that. So one of the things I want to share with you is your work ethic. Like, what are you doing right now? Like, how much time are you putting towards the thing, right? The thing that you want to do the most in your life, or the thing that's going to, move the needle or allow you to pivot and shift into whatever it is that you want to do. Like, how much time are you dedicating into that? How much are you thinking about it? How obsessed over it are you? Are you making these things a must? I've noticed that in the course of my career, the things that actually worked out for me only worked out for me because I obsessed over them. I made them a must, and I couldn't stop thinking about them. I have to move in this direction. And I know for me, of course, all of us are going to hit plateaus and things that kind of set us back, or we're going to feel like they derail us. But that's all part of the process when you're going for it, when you're doing the thing. Even in my film career, there was a time that, before I picked up a camera, I was doing coaching and personal development, and I had a life coaching company that I was running, and it was good, but it just wasn't giving me that thing. I was like, I want something more creative. I was doing really well with my coaching business, and I liked it, but I think it was a stepping stone, right? It was something to get me out of my comfort zone and move me forward into the things that I wanted to do more of. And so what I did is I started interviewing people. And it wasn't until I interviewed a gentleman by the name of Devin Graham. On YouTube, he goes as Devin Supertramp, and he was shooting all these cool videos. I learned about YouTube in that moment. Like, this was years ago. This is like 2010. And I want to do YouTube videos. I didn't know you could make a living at YouTube videos. And this is still when YouTube was, fresh, the golden years of YouTube. And I jumped in right in the middle. It was a slow grind. But what it was allowing me to go get my cameras, film for a while, put it up on YouTube, get some feedback, practice my skills, get exposure, start to kind of get my feet wet with brands. And it was a nice, really, I had to do the thing. I had to jump into it. I also thought about editing. I was like, man, that's got to be a pain in the butt. I don't think I want to do that. That's got to be a lot of work. And it is. But I didn't understand how fun filming videos were until I started to do it. And I was figuring it out. And I remember there was a time where I was, had this camera gear and I had shot a music video and I thought that was the way. And then I was like, okay, maybe it's a brand video. So I did a brand video, where the product came and I filmed it at the house. And that wasn't fun for me. That was kind of boring. I was like, that's work. And then I was like, all right, let's do a modeling shoot. So I did a modeling shoot. And I was like, well, that's kind of cool. I'm like, but there's got to be something else. What's the thing? And then I went back to, seeing what Devin was doing, and I saw that he was doing, just fun, creative videos, bringing people together. And then I learned that, he's bringing people together and he's combining that with a brand. And then he was doing services and all this cool stuff. And so I said, let me build my own thing like that. And I did that for a while. And I said, okay, now I got to develop my style. I figured out how the shoots work. I figured out how this whole thing comes together, what it looks like on YouTube. I'm getting the feedback. How do I develop my style? And that came down to a couple things. What am I using to film with? What kind of camera? What is the energy of my video going to be like? I'm high energy. I want it to be an extension of me. So I need a glide cam camera stabilizer that's going to give me a smooth, cinematic, stabilized shots. So I have no instability or shake in my videos. And it just looks good. Then I'm going to be like, oh, what lens do I need? Okay, I want this specific lens. And then I was like, well, what extra cameras kind of go around this that I can tell the story with? Well, a GoPro for sure. And so I got that. And then I was like, well, I need audio. So I found a connection with Rode, and I got a Rode microphone. And that gave me the elements I needed to craft my style and move forward. And then that went on for years. It went on from years, from 2011, so when I officially got my start, till 2016. And in that time, I had to figure out, well, how do I film every day? And at first, I was just filming friends. I was putting together brand videos, and that was fun. I was finding events to go to. And then that after a year, that it's like kind of redundant. And it's like, there's got to be something else to drive me, to get me better at this. And I told myself, I have to film every day. If I'm going to pick up this camera and leave the coaching business, and I'm going to do this and not make any money right now, I'm going to, listen, I didn't make any money for a while. And I'm going to do this thing. And I want to be good at it. I don't want to compete, but I want to be the best I can be at it. And so I just said, how do I film every single day? And it was like between events and friends, like I was saying. But then I was like, okay, I want to go to the next level and challenge myself and put a little pressure on me. And I went to businesses. And I remember looking at commercials on TV, and I was like, man, these are just not cutting it for me. I not to sound like I'm the best, but I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm looking at these commercials. I'm like, man, these suck. These are boring. Nobody wants to watch that. And I'm like, there's got to be another way. And then I was like, no, I'll never do commercials. I was like, I thought about it. I was like, no, I'm going to have no interest in commercials because they all suck. Look at that. It just wasn't my thing. It wasn't creative. It wasn't doing it for me. And this is early days of being able to skip ads on YouTube as well. And I remember just skipping them. And now we just skip them, But I remember there was a time I was going to watch a 30-second, maybe a minute-long video, and there was an ad that came on, and it was a Red Bull ad. And this Red Bull ad was literally, I think it was 10 minutes long. It's so long. And it started off with a skier jumping out of a helicopter going down the slopes, and it was intense. And I watched the whole thing. And before I knew it, I was like, the skip button's still there. I could skip this in any moment, but I didn't want to. In fact, I was so drawn into the video and obsessed over the video that when the video ended and went into my video that I was going to watch, the shorter video, I watched an ad that was longer than the video I was trying to watch. I had to go back to YouTube and search for this video, and I couldn't find it. I was so upset. I was like, where is this Red Bull commercial? I got to see it again. And so I'd go back and I'd watch a whole bunch of YouTube videos hoping that it would show up again. And I think it showed up one or two more times. And when it did, I took notes. And I said, oh my gosh, that's how you do commercial. You got to do a commercial that grabs the audience, that grabs the viewers and pulls them in. And then I was like, well, what about that video pulled them in? What can I do differently to pull someone in even closer? And that was like, oh, I got these GoPros. Well, why? What's so important about a GoPro? Well, I shoot with a wide-angle lens on my main camera. That's what our eyes see. And the GoPro has the similar wide-angle lens, but it also allows you to get closer, so I could put this camera on my subjects, or they can hold something to hold the camera and put them in the action. This makes the viewer feel like they're actually a part of the shoot. And I was like, that's it. That's the gold for me. That's my style. And I just ran that ball. And I started picking up the phone, calling companies after companies, going, I want to shoot a video. And I got no. I got all these no's. And then the first day I was like, well, that didn't go well. I was like, no, screw that. I went right back into it, made a same bunch of phone calls, called the same companies. They said, we told you. No, I said, listen, I know it's a no, but however, why is it a no? Oh, we don't have the budget. You don't even know how much I cost. We don't have the budget. Okay, that's fine. Let me do it for free. Wait, you'll do it for free? I'm like, under these circumstances, I'll do it for free if you help me set up the shot, let all the people that I invite to the video utilize your services or products or, food, some of the places that had food, and let us have an experience. Let's create that experience inside your place. But I'm going to need 4 hours. Give me 4 hours to have your location locked down, right? To do my thing and invite all these people. And on top of that, if this goes really well, then I want a percentage. And they didn't want to give me a percentage. I said, okay, fine. Then at least allow me to put it on my YouTube channel and you can share it from there. And they're like, you can go ahead. And they're probably thinking, all right, we're going to have this young kid come in here, shoot a commercial, have all these people there. We're going to get free promotion out of it. He's going to put it on his YouTube channel too. And he's going to promote for us. Like, this is brilliant. We didn't have to do anything. And that's when it blew up for me. And what was so exciting about it is I did this for a full year and companies started getting all this traction and they would call me like, wow, like you've increased our sales. It's been intense. Like we got all this marketing. We love it. We're sharing the video. It's incredible. And some of them were like, we want another video. Can you come back and do another one? I said, yes, but it's going to cost. That's fine. You've helped us so much. And so then they paid me and I set my prices. And obviously I grew my prices over time. But then some of the companies realized, wait a minute, we need to have these videos on our YouTube channel. We don't even have a YouTube channel. What is YouTube all about? And then I started a side hustle, right? A little side service there, helping build up other companies' YouTube channels. And so that escalated. And listen, I was able to monetize my YouTube videos. So all these views that all these companies were doing, the first videos that they didn't pay for, it paid me more than what they would have paid me because over time they were sharing these videos. And the ad revenue was making me money on YouTube. And so I was I was just doing this thing. And for the, my YouTube channel started off really small, like everyone's does, but it's like 100 views, 1,000 views, and start tracking this. I realized that I was up to like 5,000 views. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm growing. And it kept growing and growing. And all those views happened mainly because all of these shoots, I would meet people and personally say, thanks for being at the shoot. We'd get to bond and they'd be like, how do we follow you? I said, just subscribe to this YouTube channel. Comment below, like, share my videos. This is how we do this. And I also implemented a vlog I was doing on the other. I started 2 YouTube channels. I had my Zebulon Thomas and I had Zebulon Thomas Films. And the Zebulon Thomas was me I wanted to capture this, well, now we call it the hero's journey, but I want to capture everything I did every step of the way. Like, how am I doing this? And I want to capture all these moments and I want it to be vulnerable. So I did vlogs and I would vlog, a lot of just my family day-to-day life, but I would also go out and vlog these events like, oh, I got a shoot coming up. And that's how people knew to be at the shoot. I'm like, I got a shoot coming up. Comment below if you want to be there. I'll send you the information. Oh, we're going to be here. And then I would be there and I would vlog it and have behind the scenes videos shot. And then when I released the video would have the main video would be shared. Then it would be behind the scenes would be shared. And then 1 or 2 or 3 vlogs would be shared surrounding that video. And I'd get all this traction. And that's how I exploded my career. And then brands started noticing this and they started reaching out to me and they started just like give me products. And I was like, that's cool. And then I got a point in my career where I was like, okay, no more freebies. Like, I appreciate the product, but you're going to give me the product and you're also going to pay for this because I'm making you money and I got to get paid for this. So I started getting paid. Then I got sponsorships. Then I just escalated more and more and more. And I started, here's the thing, I went to tackle the world at the very beginning. And it's funny because like usually you're supposed to tackle maybe your town, your city, your state or whatever. And I went out and tackled the world. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just like failing forward. Like, let's do this. So, I had odds and ends like music videos and things like that, but these brand deals. But then I started doing like stuff for bigger companies and huge companies and they're paying big money for this stuff. And I was huge experience. And for the first, 2 years when I started making money on this, the videos were being shot on the same camera I started with. I didn't upgrade my camera gear yet. I started on a really small budget. My camera was under $1,000. My lens, however, I saved up and got that, and that was like $1,600. I mean, the whole rig I obviously spent some money on, but it wasn't nearly like getting one of those big boy cameras, right? And nobody was saying anything about the quality. It was still good. And then when I did upgrade, it took me to a whole nother level. I took some money. I was able to upgrade all my gear and grow this thing and reinvest and do it again and reinvest. And then I started traveling. And then all of a sudden I had this different status. And that went on for years. I had status in the local community because I started doing commercials for local businesses and I started doubling and tripling their sales. And I started giving that to them for an affordable rate, started structuring my business plan. It was amazing. And then, fast forward, right? We go through this thing called a pandemic, right? And I thought, what do I do there? And I've talked about this in previous episodes, but I was like, well, let me just focus on my outlets like I did before. I still got the YouTube channels, I could still vlog. I started this podcast. I said, let's start talking about these things. And then all of a sudden, my business exploded even more. And this is what I'm talking about, that work ethic. Like, I put so much time into my films, into what I do in my ZT films, and all the value I add to businesses and brands, and capturing and getting people like feeding people the behind the scenes and showing them what's going on. And then in the videos, allowing people to feel like they're a part of the video. And then all the people surrounding it, like the photographers and things like that want to contribute to the videos. It put my name out there. And so in a situation like the pandemic where leveled my clients, I had a new opportunity open up. I had bigger entrepreneur celebrities that were like to the left or right of me reach out, and they said they wanted my services because at that time they couldn't find the things that they were needing. The direct marketing they were doing wasn't working as well. They couldn't do public events. So what they do, they turned to creative strategists and content creators and videographers like myself, and we had a new opportunity. And I took it, and that got me through the pandemic, and it taught me a lot of things. And then I was like, you know what? What is the next level of my career? What do I do now? Like, I feel like I burnt out. Like, I did. And like, I did so many new things, and my skill sets were tested, and I was torn in different directions. And there was times where I wasn't holding the camera. I was just directing people and guiding people and telling, film crews what to do and how to do the shots that they need, like new ones coming up. And I did that because a lot of these entrepreneurs would hire people to get the video content done. And some of these people weren't even skilled. They didn't go to school. They were just kind of learning like I did. And that's fine. They were just starting out. And I was brought in to give them a CEO level upgrade or a videographer upgrade in that opportunity, in those meetings, in those companies. And I did love it. I connected with my videographers all over the world, and we shared ideas. And, I listened. It wasn't always about, hey, this is what you got to do. I said, I want to know your ideas. I want to help you craft your skill inside this company. And on the side, I was telling them too, hey, don't be so attached to this company. You're going to develop a skill that's going to go far beyond this company. So don't get stuck here. Do your thing here, but make sure you're not locking yourself down, because we're in, some of these young videographers are being put in a great position financially into these companies, just swept right into it. But they had no idea how legalities work and contracts and NDAs and things that get locked into. And I knew that. I was trying to protect them. I said, make sure you don't do this, that. And many of them went on to start incredible careers because they saw the vision, they understood what I was saying, and they were very careful with the things they got locked into. And even I had to be careful at that level. But it was a level that I wanted to play. It was a level that I had to, an experience I had to have, an opportunity I took. I bring this up because whatever you obsess over, whatever the thing is that you're doing to get you to the next level, you just have to keep moving forward. It might not look pretty. It might look crazy. It might look like it's never going to work. You might be afraid of it, right? There's so much uncertainty there. But where the fun is, and you follow your heart and you follow your vision and your passion, you'll go there. But you also have to build multiple things around the thing, right? Like I had the vlogs, I had the behind the scenes, I had the main YouTube channel, I had the podcast, I had the photography, I had the websites, I had the social media. Like build the thing. You don't have to be everywhere at once. But you have to get good at the things that you do and then put eyes on it. They have to see what you're doing. And even with my podcast, I'm getting ready to open up to doing more video podcasts because I want to show you what I'm doing and I want to see you, because we're going to build this community and people are going to start to fall in love with your personality and the things that you do. And that's how you build that brand. That's how you build that community. And that takes you to the next level. So podcasting is a great place to start. Videography, photography, content creating, wherever it is that you can start and practice and put yourself in an environment where you can challenge yourself, you can compete, you can get better, you can fail, you can learn, you can obsess over it, you can talk about it endlessly. That's where you need to be. Don't stop going for it. Don't stop doing the thing, even when it's like, why am I doing this? I didn't know that this was going to be a career move for me. I didn't know this was going to be this much opportunity for me. And now I got to a point where I'm obsessing over the next level. And you know what that is for me? Obviously, podcast is always going to be a thing. I love it. It's fun. And I actually have the equipment now. And it gives me an opportunity to have conversations with other people, and it opens new doors. I can use my podcast as a way to get into a company that possibly I didn't have another way in. I could say, I want to interview this person. I want to highlight your interests, your values. I want to know about your company's core values and share that with the world, why I like your brand or services, or why people should like your brands, products, and services. And that gives me opportunity to start that conversation. And maybe it's just a conversation. Maybe it's just an outlet to share within my podcast realm. Or maybe it's an opportunity to build a better relationship, to say, hey, I do this podcast. That went well. We should do a commercial. Have you thought about that? It gives me another opportunity to talk about the other services, another thing that we might be able to do. And listen, it's not about selling at this point, in my career at least. I'm not calling up companies going, hey, would you be interested in doing a commercial? No, I already know the results I can get them. They should already understand marketing. And when they cross-reference what I do with what they have, they should see the gold. And so they come to me and they say, hey, we have this. Would you be willing to do it? Not, can you do this for us? Not, we want to hire you. It's like, would you be willing to do it? What I mean by that is, it used to be companies call me, can you do this? Or how much would you do this for, right? That's not a conversation anymore. They already know my value. They see what I do. They see the reviews. They see what the worth is. They know it's going to explode their company if they just get the opportunity to work with me. I'm not trying to put myself on a pedestal. What I'm saying is they just get the opportunity to work with me. Like if I had an opportunity to work with you, it's the experience, it's the combined energy and ideas that allows that to be special. It's about my experience, the way I shoot videos, my style, and my strategies with their products and services, their energies, their ideas, and we make a good fit and we get the opportunity to work together. So when they reach out, they're really hoping that I have an opening in my schedule. And so I'm getting paid to have fun. I'm getting paid to create. I'm getting paid, though, to deliver a result to someone else, to a product, service, a company, a brand, whatever that is. And yes, they're paying me well, but they're going to make a lot. My goal is to give them success, add massive value, whatever that success is, whether it's more exposure, whether it's brand development, whether it's feedback, whether it's financial growth, whatever that is. My goal is to make sure that they hit those goals and go beyond, add massive value there. I say starting with podcasting is going to be a great opportunity for you because it allows you to talk about the thing and you don't have to have all the equipment. You can just use a phone. And it's important to start somewhere. Don't worry about the quality, worry about the content. And then you can grow and improve the quality of your content over and over again. But it gives you that opportunity. And if you want to learn more about podcasting, you can always go back and binge listen to any one of my previous episodes. I talk about how to get this thing going, right? How do you do the thing? And especially with podcasting, there's so many tools, strategies that I've built out in these episodes in season 3, season 4, and now in season 5 that you definitely can check out and binge watch that. If you want a more streamlined, direct approach and you want me to help you grow the podcast and give you some opportunities there, then I highly recommend that you get involved in my podcast Success Secrets Mastermind group. And you can learn more about that by going to thepodcastintherough.com/learn. There's a special going on. Currently, the doors are open to my mastermind, so get in now. You get to meet other great people doing the same thing or doing something similar, but they're all starting a podcast. They're all doing something. And what's nice about that is you're also getting a little bit of my success coaching in there because even though we're talking about podcasting and launching, I'm talking about the things you can plug into that podcast. So there you go. If you'd like more success coaching, head over to ZebulonThomas.com and learn more about my success coaching. I want to help you get to that next level, whatever that is. I hope you take this episode and you write down ideas. I hope it served you and helped you get to the next level and get you past being stuck, like move forward. And remember, obsess, think about it, go for it, do the thing that gets you to where you want to go. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll talk to you next week for another great episode of the Podcast in the Rough. Take care. This is the Podcast in the Rough.